I don't talk about novels a lot because some people are offended by that. So I always try to keep people reading too many nurse novels. I'm not even going there. Okay. You must control your deeds or actions. Philippians chapter 2, verse 14. Do all things without murmuring and disputings. Somebody say amen. Amen. You must control your deeds or actions. 1 Timothy chapter 5, 22. Lay hands suddenly on no man, neither be partaker of another man's sins. Keep thyself pure. Somebody want to do bad things? Don't join them. You don't have to do everything. Ask to be put out of the car. Just call a cab. And I want to say this to the wives. Be very, very careful. Monday night, I was talking to a group of young men from Oklahoma. We spent a great deal of time on this. We had way up into the midnight. We worked on just talking about some of the things we're facing in the world today. And I spent a good deal of time trying to help young pastors and ministers to realize that you cannot become a mentor for somebody in the sense that you're going to take control of their life and you're going to become their sin managers. And you can wash their feet, you can give them communion, you can pray for them, you can pursue them on the telephone, you can give them phone calls, you can follow up on it. This is not a good thing. It's not a good thing for staff people to take upon themselves telling you what is right and what is wrong and what you should do. I don't do that. You got to answer to God. And there are some people, friends and ministers and pastors, that will try to become your friend. They will try to become your buddies because they'll tell you, don't worry about this. There's nothing wrong with that. Who cares about that? Well, maybe God cares. This walk with God is a very individualistic thing. It's a very private thing in many regards. Not totally, but in many ways it is. And so you can't just be the person that says, oh, don't worry about that. I know what pastor preaches, but don't worry about that. Who are you to do that? Are you a person that can forgive another man his sins? Are you without sin? Let he that is without sin cast the first stone. Yeah. This is a big responsibility when you take on sin issues and attitude issues in somebody's life. And we have mentoring programs now that are corrupting our young preachers. I'm not pointing at you because you're one of them, but because you know what I'm talking about. This is a dangerous thing. And when I try to talk about it to other apostolic preachers, sometimes I get very vocal. And I get very sincere about this. And I'm oftentimes thought of as being negative because I'm not going to go along with this. It's garbage religion. What I need to do is point you to Christ and point you to the prayer room and point you to the Word. But let me tell you something. If you're messing around on your wife, your problem is not me, and your problem is not the church, and your problem is not God. Your problem is your wife. You got to get this worked out. That's who you made that vow to, standing up here at some other altar and say, I promise, I pledge to thee my faithfulness. I pledge to thee my troth, which means faithfulness. I changed the word troth in my presentation to faithfulness because that's what it is. A man pledges it and a woman gives it. And there's a sacred moment. I mean, you can't bring years of fornication to a church and have a marriage solemnized by a preacher when it's full of fornication. I'm talking about people in the church now, not people that's never been in the church. Because judgment begins where? House of God. So please don't anybody misunderstand. Because before God, we're all sinners. All right, your deeds or actions have to be under control. Romans 14:12. So then every one of us shall give an account of himself to your mentoring group. Not even to your organization. Not even to your pals. Yeah. Not even to your friends on Facebook. That's not who you give an account to. You give an account to God. End of discussion. Get it? Yes, sir. If you can't figure that out, if you're in the ministry and you don't have that figured out, turn in your ministry call. Because you're going to mess a lot of people up in your life. Because you cannot save people. You are not a redeemer or a savior. All right? Deny yourself. This is another